So we started with the thread topics. Thread is needed because of there is a peak period for the like all the things are executed line by line. So this may be the problems with the normal programs. To execute 10-second programming must wait for the 1 hours and 30 minutes. After that 10-second will be get executed. Thread allow us to execute all the programs simultaneously so that all the program will execute once after another's. So even though we have seen the example also, let me open that example. In the school projects, we have a thread, and first of all, we see the thread problems. See, this is a problems. What we can say that we have three function hi, hello, and test. If I try to execute these programs, you can observe that that is a thing will happen. Let me comment this first of all. Yeah, and comment this. So this is general programmings where we can see one simple thread is there. We have a three different functions, hi, hello, and AA. If I run this program, we'll come to know that for printing two-time test, I need to wait for 10 time first hi will get printed, then hello will print for the 5 times, and then after that A is get printed. Though the A is printed only twice, but still he need to wait for the 15 transactions should happen. Okay. So this is the problem with the general programmings. To overcome this, there is a concept called a thread, and thread allow us to execute all the things simultaneously without waiting for each others. So if you see that if I run these programs, you'll come to know that hi hello test. The test work will be done, then hi will be executed 5 times, and then hello will be keep on executing as per he wanted to execute. So the hello work is done. Now hi will be get keep on printing. So this is why we need a thread which avoid the problem of waiting periods without affecting each other. All the threads are worked individually. Okay. And even though I told you there are two ways to implement a thread, the last time we have seen the first one, that is by extending thread class. Now there is a one more option to implement a thread is that is nothing but by implementing a runnable interface. Okay. Before that, we'll see the one concept that is nothing but a join. Why we need a joins, that also the importance. So as you can see that we can execute the thread simultaneously. Assume that there are 4 5 threads are there. In that, apart from 4 5 threads, there is a one thread that is an important one, and we need to execute that first. And after that, all the remaining thread will be get joined after executing first. So meaning that if we consider the 5 thread, so let's me consider this is T1 is a thread, then we can go for the T2 thread. So multiple threads, T2, then T3, thread 1, thread 2, I will take 3 4 threads so that assume that this is third thread. So this is third thread, friends. Let me take one more thread so it will be very meaningful now. So suppose that we have a 4 threads, T1, T2, T3, and T4. Okay. So before threading, the thing will happen that T4 need to wait after until the executing the all three threads, all three functions, and then T4 will execute. So overcome these problems, we are using a thread, and thread is what is doing. Thread executing all the programs simultaneously at one stroke, right? So this is a problem to solve by thread. Thread will start executing programs simultaneously. Means without affecting each other, all the things are executing based on its time needed. But still, there is a problem. Suppose assume that the T2 is a function. Just consider T2 is a function which is very important one. Okay, just assume T3 is a kind of VIP persons. You may consider that. So now we need to execute all the function of T2 first, and after that all the remaining thread should be joined. Means you may there is some important government persons or some maybe like VIP person is comes. So there will be a no queue for that VIP person. He will get direct darshan and all the things. Means there may be some situation where need to execute first thread compulsory, and after that all the remaining threads should be get joined. Up to now, what happens? All the threads are executing simultaneously, but there may be a many situation where we need to execute some thread before all the threads start its executions. So at that time, there is a concept and there is a keyword known as a join. So join keyword help us to execute one thread completely, and after that we can join all the remaining threads which can execute all the threads simultaneously. See, there are three different situations. The first one is a normal function. For the normal function, first we'll execute T1, second we'll execute T2, then T3, then T4. But the problem is some function may took a lot of time. For that other function will wait for the longer times. So to solve these problems, the thread concept is comes. Thread execute all the functions at a time. This is solutions. But in that solution also the some kind there is a need that apart from all the threads, there are some function which are the important ones. We need to execute that first completely, and after that remaining thread will be the joins. So for that purpose, we need to use a join functions. Getting what I'm trying to explain you, what a join. Some thread may be important that we execute first fully, and after that remaining thread will be the join. So let's execute that programmatically. So for that, we need to execute three threads or four threads. So let me create that example. We already have some functions here, T1, T2, T3, right? Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. And let me consider that we may execute some function, one more thread as well. So let's consider that we'll create one more thread. So let's create thread here and give the thread as a 4, thread 4. Okay. And then I will add here VIP just for understanding. And I will keep that error. Okay. So job is to, first of all, VIP functions will be execute completely. And after that, all the remaining things will be start its executions. So for that purpose, what we'll do, we'll go into thread demo. As usual, we'll create the object of thread fourth class T4 is equal to new T4. As per the rules, this T4 dot start. This is a way. Now, if I do this program, if I run these programs, then T4 is also execute simultaneously. See, hi, hello, test VIP, hi, hello, test VIP. But VIP is a very important person. So now we have to complete execution of VIP first, and then all other programming should be get started. So for that purpose, there is a concept. So what we'll do, we'll start the execution of P4 first, and after that we'll use P4 dot join all the other functions. See, it's very simple things, but the important ones. We are starting T4 firstly, so it will start execution, and after the completion of execution, all the remaining thread will be joined this T4. Now, if I run this program, you can just observe the output here. See, what is happening here? VIP, VIP, VIP. Right now, the simultaneously it is not executing. After the completion of VIP, and all the remaining threads are started execution. Hearing it's very advanced and important concepts. Understand? Hello. What is the use of join function here? Why we need a join? It's as per priority. Suppose for any MLAs come for the darshan. So how we can manage that thing? So let's get that MLA firstly. And then after all the general peoples are getting in queue. So there is a situation. If you want some thread should be get executed before other thread will be start execution. So at that time, we need to start that thread first, and after that, all the remaining thread will be get joined after the completion of execution this. It may take any times. Thing is that to the completion of this only, you should start the other execution. Understood this? So this is one of the join functions. Now, one more type of creating thread is pending. Okay, and what is the type is? Second way of implementing second way is first we have seen by extending thread class. So when we are extending thread class, so which method we need to implement? The method name should be what for the thread? In thread, which function we are using? Can I make any name functions or there any and there is any specification? Which name threads must have which function name? Sorry, in thread we are writing all the function with the same name. And what is that function name? Hello, I forgot. What is a function name that thread get used by threader? Like we are using hi, hello, test. Can we use like this function while creating thread? Then which function should we used? There is a specific name, no? The run method we are using in all the threads. Okay, don't forget this. Remember, only run method we need to use. Okay, in interface also. While now we are seeing the second way. See what exactly the difference and which one is a better. You can decide. So the first one we have seen by extending thread class. Now the second option we are seeing by implementing runnable interface. Okay, let's me call RNBLINTRFC runnable interface. We are creating a thread only, but by runnable interface. Okay, now instead of by extending thread class, I will use implement. Implements 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 runnable interface. As soon as I implement it, there is an unimplemented method that is known as the run method. Wide run. Right. Simple. So now within that I can write the same code as that we have already written. This is a code I want to write. Only the difference is instead of extending thread, we are using runnable interface. The rest things are all the same as it is. So let's me call this. I will create one more interface. Seconds. First one will return high for the 10 times. Second, I will return suppose hello. This class is already there. Hello. Yeah. So now I'll print 5 time hello. Same thing as that we have done in the thread class. Same thing we are executing. Only difference is that instead of extending a thread, we are using implementing runnable interface. Okay. So let me consider as a test. Remove this public. And only 2 time test we are printing. All the things are same. Just by extending thread, we are using. Instead of extending thread, we are using runnable interface because there are two options we have to implement. Right. So now what the change while starting with the threads? There is a one twist is there while working with an implementing thread. You have to create the thread object. See now. In general, if it is a thread that is done by extending thread class, then what we are using? We are using thread object and directly we are starting, right? But now what we have to do, just remember here. So let me comment this thing first. Now I will create the thread object first. What is a class name first? Test hello and this runnable interface. See, I have to create the object here like this, this. Then second one is, I think it is hello. We have hello and hello and the test. So we have hello. So there is hello. One is in hello and second is a test. Okay, let's me write this right. Hello, hello, hello. And third one is what? Test. And this is also test. So now if you see that if I try to start with a T1 dot start, T2 dot start, it is not working. Okay. Because we are using interface. If it is a normal by extending a thread class, then it is properly working. Now we have to explicitly convert this method by thread class thread tt1 is equal to new thread, and within that thread thread you have to pass this object. So this is extra thing we need to do while we working with an implementing thread class, right? So tt1 is there, tt2, tt3. I have to pass here t1, t2, t3. If you are using interface, then again we have to create the thread object, and within that thread object we need to pass that implements, because we can't create the object of interface. We need to make a use of a class. So that's why we need to explicitly convert using a thread class. So the better way, use directly by extend the thread class so that that thing will work. So there is an option. You can either use implementing runnable interface or by extending a thread class. Thing will be work same. There is no difference. Hi hello test, and then all the works will be started. Getting, so there are two options. Either you can use extending the thread class or enable interface. And the join method is, the use of not join methods. Okay, fine. So this is a concept of a thread as we know understood, like why we need a thread, what problem it was solving, and how to implement a thread. There are two ways: by extending a thread class or by implementing the enable interface. In the thread, only the run method will be used. Okay, remember that also. Thanks. Now I will tell you the one for function names or one class names that is called get runtime class, which is used many times, which is important, friends. This is only a thread. I will share with the programs. And I will tell one more of class of function names, which can use to interact with our hardware systems, means with our systems. And the class name is runtime methods. It's very interesting. Runtime demo. Just assume if I told you to write a Java program to open a notepad, you will be start thinking, "Well, how should I open the notepad programmatically? Is there any way to interact with an hardware applications so that we directly open the notepad?" Yes, there is a way, and that is a class, nothing but runtimes. Runtime is a one class. So with the help of that class, we can interact with the hardware systems or the software application. Let me take first try catch block, catch, exception key, okay, so e. So now open the notepad or any hardware software applications. There is a class called runtime and dot get runtime. Means runtime means whichever the running application in our systems. Okay. And within that, there is a one function called exe, executes. Exe stand for executes. So what do you want to execute? I want to execute notepad. So, so now this is a function. This is a class will open notepad. It's very interesting and important. Like with the help of Java, we can interact with our software application as well. And you have to write the same spelling. There should be no spelling mistake and all that things. If I now run this programs, just right click here, run Java application, the notepad will be get open. See, it will take some time. Now you can see that the notepad is get open. Okay, so it's quite interesting. We can programmatically, we can interact with our application as well. Okay, there are many things we can find, execute notepad, and some of the application may get deprecated, but some of application are still working. So let's say that in a similar manner, if you want to open the paint, okay, so for that different application names are there. So that name is an MS Paint, Microsoft Paint.exe. Okay. So let me comment that. After finding on ChatGPT and asking for the Google, it will give the all the applications key names, which key name we should use for opening which applications. So now the MS Paint is get opens, right? We can use a notepad, we can use MS Points, even though like we can shut down our computer as well by using this command. So that command is used here. Like if I go here and if I use the shutdown, so behind that code will be like this only. Runtimes and shutdown functions are there. Okay. But I'm not going to use that because the system will be the get shell. So there are some runtimes, Java runtime exe. You can find the list of this in ChatGPT as well. So that will give the list. So the important function you can ask for the ChatGPT like Java runtime executes list all possible applications name that we open with. Let's see how much he can use. You're asking for the runtime executables. See, there are many things. So as you can get the listed here, right? Apart from the what we have done, we done the notepad and MS Access. So there are exactly there is MS Pen. I think there is no need to write exe as well. Let's see that. If I don't write exe, will it works? If it is yes, then there is a optional .exe. Yeah, .exe is an option. Okay, no need to write. Then what have they given? They are CMD. Open the command prompts. Okay, and what is a cal? Can it open the calculator? Let's check. These are the interesting ones. Okay, syntax will remain same. Only the application names. Yeah, fine. See, it open the calculators. So this is interesting ones. Even you can program, like in general program you have studied. In You can create a menu driven programs. Okay, in if else ladder, or you can use a switch case as well. What do you want to open? Notepad. For choice one, open the notepad. For choice two, open the pen. For choice three, open the calculators. So like this kind of application you can also do. So now this is for I think opening uh, command prompt CMD. So let's check whether it is opening a command prompt or not. CMD. Fine. It is opening a command prompt. Okay. So these are the list of the things which are open. So now it is a right means over it open the word pads. So let's check if we have the list and just for cross checking it. We can work. The right is used for opening a WordPad. No, there is a problem. Okay. It can't run the program rights. Okay. So it's, some file functions are get also get deprecated. So that maybe that happens. So the control panel, it will open. So let's check for the control panel. Is that possible to open control panel? Yeah, we can open the control panel as well. So many of them are working. So it's a file explorer is there. We don't have video Windows media players. It will open the task manager. Let's. It is also the important ones. Let's task manager. You know the concept of virus. This you may observe that sometime the virus are multiple windows are opening multiple times. Okay, simultaneously, the hundred of windows. So with the help of Java, you can create that virus also. How you can create that virus? Simply, what you can do, you can write an infinite loop, and within that infinite loop, write this code. So what will it do? It will keep on creating, opening a notepad. Though you are trying to close it, it keep on opening. Okay. So like this thing, you can use a Java program to create that kind of virus as well. Okay. So like Java is not only about programs. We can use for our general lives also. And even we can go further in advanced Java. We'll use the AWT swings. We'll develop one software, proper software that we can use for our daily lives. Okay. That we'll study in after there are sometimes. It will take some lot of times. But we are learning some basics. Now OPS is done, string is done, exception handling. Now we write a thread. After that, we'll start the collection framework and all that things. Okay. So this is a thread, and one important class we have seen, that is run times functions. Understood today's lectures? Okay, fine.